In this video, we are going to be looking at the clone stamp tool, which is similar to the content aware and patch tools that we were using before, but this is the tool that I actually prefer when I'm trying to remove or move things around. So first I'm going to unlock this layer because we need to be able to have this layer be editable. Then I'm going to create a new layer because I don't want to be working on the original image. I want to be working on its own layer so that I can move things around as needed. Up here you can see that there's a size and a hardness just like with our brush tool. I usually start at around 50% or 0% depending on what I'm doing. I'll start with 50% and see how that looks. I'm going to keep mode at normal, opacity I want 100%, flow 100%, and then over here we have current and below, current layer, or all layers. What this means is that when you come in and you take a sample of the image by holding down the Alt key, if you have just current layer selected, then that would only take from this layer, which there's nothing on this layer, so it wouldn't work. It would probably give you an error message. I always work with current and below. So what this means is that I'm on my layer that I want as separate, but it's gonna work with any of the layers down below. So it will grab from the layers below it. So if we had 10 layers below this, it would pick up what's under it. All layers I haven't found useful because then you don't have any control over it. It could grab anything above or below, and usually I position my clone stamp tool to be used with a layer that's directly above the one that I want to edit. So if we come in here, I'm going to make my brush size smaller by hitting the brackets on my keyboard, as that's the shortcut to resize the brush. I'm going to hit Alt on my keyboard and hold it down. I think it is Control on a Windows. I'm going to click, and that will be my sample size. So as you can see, as I move around, it's stuck here, and that's where it's going to start. So I'm going to come over here where I want to remove my flowers from this image, and I'm going to move it around. And you can see that it's starting to cover the image. And as I come along, it's doing a pretty good job. Now you can see that when I enter the spot where the original image was, it starts to show me that original image. So then that's usually where I stop and I'll grab another sample. This is doing pretty good with 50%. I'm going to go down to 0 just so that we don't have any hard edges as we work on this. So I'm going to come sample over here with my Alt, click, and then keep working until my whole image is covered. And I'm going to do it again. And now the flowers are gone. Let's say we didn't want the flowers to be completely gone, we just wanted to move the flowers. Well, now we can hide our layer that hides our flowers. We can create a new layer, and let's say we just want to move our flowers over. So I'm going to come over here, hold my Alt key, select where the flowers start, and let's say I want to move them over here. So now I'm going to do the same thing, cover everything up, and then as it starts to show me the flowers again, I just keep going until all the flowers are visible. You'll see that I need to fix this part, and if it's something that I might need again in the future, I would use a layer mask and paint over it. In this case, I'm just going to erase this spot, and then I'm going to refix it with this part of the table. So I'm going to come do my selection and come fix it here. And then grab a little bit on this side. And there we go. We have successfully moved the flowers on the table. And the good thing about working on a separate layer is now you can kind of move them around as you need to. And then you can just go back and fix with the clone tool if there's anything that like starts showing, or if you go too far and the table's off the edge. So it just gives a lot more flexibility versus working on the actual layer. Then it edits that photo and it's harder to go back without just hitting undo a million times. So under the clone stamp, you also have the pattern stamp tool. I have not needed that yet, so that's not a tool I use. But I love my clone stamp tool, and I really don't change any settings other than the size and the hardness. And I make sure that this is on current and below. So that is just an overview of the clone stamp tool and how to use it, and I will see you in the next video.